When people think about wildfires, they think of Australia, they think of California, they think of France, Spain, Portugal, and they do have huge fires. But we also in the UK have a wildfire problem, but it's an emerging problem as well. It's getting worse, and that is now being linked to climate change. We've just had the hottest day we've ever had in the UK, and all these things, when you get dry, hot, windy weather, and there's a fuel source, you will get ignitions. We're at Tonopandi Fire Station, which is one of the 4 wildfire stations within South Wales Fire and Rescue Service. And these crews have specialist equipment and specialist training to deal with the wildfire problem across South Wales. So we've had over 76,000 ignitions across South Wales within the last 20 years. So wildfire is a significant problem for ourselves as firefighters, but also our communities. This is one of the main roads out of the Rhondda Valley, and this road is currently closed since a wildfire, not a huge fire by any means, but what the fire has done is the road passes through an area with loose rocks, and these rocks have been held in place with a material to stop them rolling down the mountain. And unfortunately, the wildfire has caused the material to burn, which has now destabilised the rock face. This was an emerging risk, and it is now a real risk. And it's really important now that just because winter is coming and the fire risk is going to go away, the vegetation is still there and the vegetation is still growing. So we need now to adapt what we're doing and work together and solve this problem across government, across all sectors, across fire and rescue services, so that we can keep communities and firefighters safe. Because what we saw in the last month in the UK, there's firefighters have been at the front of fighting these fires without training and without the proper resources. We've always had fires, and we've tried really hard to reduce the ignitions. And that was seen as a really good thing. But what happens is the more we understand about the problem, the less ignitions we get, then the more vegetation there is to burn for future fires. And then you had climate change, you had these extreme weather conditions, the heat and the dry, long periods of dry weather, and everything then just becomes so flammable. And it's a perfect storm, and that's where we need to start looking at the training of firefighters, the equipment we use, the PPE we use is really important, but also then making this a year-round solution. This isn't just within fire season we need to react. This is about acting all through the year. So this is the Icut, and it's great for cutting through vegetation and creating fire breaks. We use it to open up footpaths and just protect properties. The South Wales valleys are covered in bracken, and this is highly flammable. So we bash or roll the bracken, and what it does, it doesn't cut it, but the plant needs to heal itself because we've damaged it. And then instead of putting all its energy from the sun in the summer into its roots so it can grow big the following year, it's now using some of that energy to try and heal itself, so the following year it won't grow back as strong. And it's easier for us to fight fires in the grass rather than the bracken due to the flame lengths. One of the fundamental problems is who owns wildfire. It seems to be the fire service's problem, but it's only our problem when the mountains are on fire. This is everybody's problem, from local government to Welsh government to UK government. But also the communities, people with their houses, they need to start thinking about what they're throwing over their garden fence fire-wise. Currently in the UK, there's a window of opportunity for us to make our communities and make our firefighters safer. But that window is closing faster than what we ever realised. And that's why it's important now that we start to act, not just for ourselves, but for our future generations.